Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat. Here I am with Toonami's ratings from April 11th, 2020. Let's start at the top of the block. At the top of the block, you had Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.24, Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.21, Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.22, Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.20, Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.19, Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.18, and then Dragon Ball Z Kai at a 0.19. Overall, I consider this a pretty good weekend for a marathon weekend in terms of ratings. And like I said, because of the current issues we have now, more people are at home, there's no live sports going on, so there's fewer options. So honestly, for the most part, it was either this news coverage or that really terrible SNL live special that they try to do. And if you do the 32% multiplier rule, which I have been applying for the last few weeks, and apply it to this, that at the start of the block you had what roughly would equivalent to about a 0.19, and the 0.18 towards the end of the block would equivalent more to like a 0.13. And overall, it would be like if there was a week of Toonami that started off kind of low, but ultimately held very well throughout the night and had a pretty good end of the night ratings number. And again, usually marathons are very good at being kind of consistent ratings like this, holding very well from show to show. But at the same time, usually they have very low ratings. And even if you account for the 32% increase I'd estimate that Toonami has now in viewers, this was a pretty good night. And that just comes to show just how big a name Dragon Ball always is going to be. Where you can have a marathon of a show that hadn't been on the block for the most part, well, the block proper for a year now. I believe it still is airing at like 8:30 every Saturday or something on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. Because I know they're like showing anime between 8 and 9 on Saturdays sometimes. And I believe it had been showing in that block for a while. But first time it's appeared on Toonami proper in more than a year, and it just gets pretty decent ratings for it being all reruns too. And being at the start of a saga too, it wasn't like there was that many like full-on climactic high-level moments or anything. So basically to show 7 more or less run-of-the-mill episodes of Dragon Ball for it to rate pretty decently, that just really does come to show just how popular Dragon Ball is. And this might end up encouraging Toonami to do more marathons of Dragon Ball Z Kai, or maybe Dragon Ball Z Super if they still have the rights to that come later in the future. Because and it raises an interesting question, because I did a video a few days ago of My Hero Academia kind of doing this piecemeal work where they're still doing the dub right now. And there's been one more episode that has been added to the dub list. So there's 2 episodes that have been dubbed that hadn't aired on Toonami. It appears they're going to try to keep doing this weekly as normal schedule. However, with all the logistics of the voice actors having to submit their lines from home, and the fact that voice acting is the type of deal where you kind of have to be next to the person to do it, where it's like, yeah, you can submit your lines, but to have lines play off each other, it has to be done in person. And I want to know if you've watched the new dubbed episode of My Hero Academia, did it seem awkward or did it just kind of flow like a normal episode? Because I honestly personally can't imagine how that wouldn't be affected with everyone having to submit their lines from home and stuff. And I find that pretty interesting. But again, I mentioned that in that video. That's Funimation's cash cow right now. Funimation's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're still getting money from it. Because without My Hero Academia, Funimation's probably very solidly in the red. But overall, that's just my opinion. And again, that does connect to Toonami. As in, there's two dubbed episodes that hadn't aired yet in the US on Toonami. And the fact that it's also Toonami's cash cow right now. Without My Hero Academia, the ratings will probably not just drop, but straight up plummet. Because although there are definitely great shows behind it in the block, none of them can really bring in the modern audience that well, you know. And that just comes to see, and especially considering that I honestly doubt they're going to get Boruto anytime soon. That show is able to bring in an audience, but again, after that, like, and I said, even with that, if we don't have dubs from all the other shows starting in a few weeks, we might run out of Black Clover episodes soon. Demon Slayer is ending on its own in a couple weeks. It's fully dubbed, but it's going to be the end of that season. So, and considering that they're saying 3 hours Tommy's block, they're going to have to replace that with something. So that's another question here. It's like, is My Hero Academia going to get a bit of a reprieve on the block and get replaced by something? And furthermore, what's going to be Demon Slayer's replacement in a few weeks when that happens. But again, next week's schedule will start at midnight with My Hero Academia, then 12:30 with Demon Slayer, and then the rest of the block is going to be the same as it was before this week with this marathon. I'll give you more updates if another marathon gets announced. If you like Toonami news like this, if you want more Toonami news like this, please like and comment because that keeps me afloat in the search results. And if you want to, subscribe as well. I am Super Orange Cat, and that is all.